If you're a business owner, that little notification, a new one-star review, man, it can feel like a punch to the gut. It's stressful, it's out there for everyone to see, and it just feels personal. But what if I told you that that dreaded negative review might actually be one of the best things to happen to your business all week? To see what I mean, let's just try a quick thought experiment. Imagine you're looking to refinance your house. You hop online, do a quick search, and these are the three companies that pop up. You've got Sunburst Mortgage, no reviews at all. Hummingbird Credit Union with a kind of shaky 2.2 star rating, and then there's Magna Financial, sitting pretty with a 4.9 star rating from over 2,000 people. So who are you going to call? Yeah, I thought so. If you're like pretty much every other person on the planet, your eyes go straight to Magna Financial. It's just instinct, right? We trust what the crowd is saying, and we actively steer clear of businesses that feel even a little bit sketchy. And that simple choice right there shows you just how high the stakes are when it comes to your online reputation. But we are about to challenge that gut reaction. It is time to completely reframe how you think about those one-star reviews. Because believe it or not, far from being a total disaster, they can actually be an unexpected asset for your brand. Let me show you how. Okay, so check this out. This data is fascinating. Researchers analyzed over 60,000 businesses, and they found this really clear pattern. People almost never leave 2, 3, or 4-star reviews. It's just not a thing. The feedback is almost always polarized. It's either a glowing 5-star rave or a super critical 1-star rant. So what does that mean for you? It means getting negative reviews is a totally normal, expected part of doing business. It doesn't mean you're failing. It just means your customers are passionate enough to speak up. So why do people even bother leaving them? Well, it usually boils down to one of three things. Some people are basically giving you free advice. They're pointing out a real problem because they actually want you to get better. Others are really just raising their hand and saying, hey, I need some help over here. And yeah, okay, there's always a small group that you're just never going to please. But you know what? Even their feedback can be an opportunity. And that leads us to three pretty surprising benefits. First off, a couple of bad reviews actually prove that your good reviews are real. I mean, think about it. A perfect 5.0 score can look a little fake to a savvy customer, right? Second, they're an amazing diagnostic tool. They shine a huge spotlight on the real cracks in your business. And third, and this is the big one, this is the game changer. They give you a golden opportunity to create some of your most loyal customers. This all comes down to a really cool psychological principle called the service recovery paradox. Here's the idea. When a customer has a problem and your company steps up and fixes it in an amazing way, that customer actually becomes more loyal than a customer who never had a problem to begin with. Just let that sink in for a second. A total service failure can actually make your relationship with a customer stronger. And this chart illustrates that paradox perfectly. See the blue line? That represents the loyalty of a customer who had a perfectly fine, no problems experience. But now to look at the red line. After a service failure, if you handle the recovery like a pro, their loyalty just skyrockets, blowing past even the customer who was always happy. That is the hidden opportunity inside every single bad review. So how do you actually do this? How do you trigger that service recovery paradox and turn things around? Well, it all comes down to the art of the response. So let's get into it and build your official playbook for turning your biggest critics into your biggest fans. First things first, let's be absolutely crystal clear about something. Paying some shady service to delete your bad reviews? It's a total waste of money. Don't do it. The only person who can remove a review is the person who wrote it, or the platform itself. The only strategy that actually works, the one that puts you back in the driver's seat, is crafting a smart public response. That's where the real magic happens. Okay, here are your 5 rules for a perfect response. Rule number 1, always be polite and professional. No exceptions. Rule 2, you gotta be fast. Try to reply within 24 hours before their negative opinion really sets in. 3, acknowledge their issue in public, but then offer to solve it in private. Take it offline. 4, if they pointed out a real issue, tell them how you're fixing it for the future. And finally, number 5, don't just sit around waiting for angry people. You should be actively asking all your customers for reviews to get a much more balanced, accurate picture. Let's look at a real world example. So a customer, let's call him Jim, leaves a review. He's ticked off because nobody returned his call. A perfect response would start with an apology, validate his frustration, and then maybe even explain that you've put a new system in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. Then you give him a direct number to call. See, a response like that isn't just for Jim. It's a message to every single future customer who's reading your reviews. Here's a great template you can basically just steal. You start by thanking them. That immediately takes the wind out of their sails. Then you own it by saying, it's clear that we fell short here. And the crucial last step, you give them a clear, private way to solve the problem, like a direct phone number. It's simple, it's professional, and believe me, it works. And here is another great variation. This one frames their complaint as helpful feedback. You're not just fixing their one-time issue. You're actually asking for their help to make sure that this problem doesn't happen again. This little shift in language completely changes the dynamic. It turns them from an angry customer into a valued consultant. All right, but what about those reviews that just feel fake? You know the ones, from a name you don't recognize, about an experience that never happened. Fake reviews are a super frustrating part of the game, but there's a really clear and professional way to handle them. So what do? Let's say a John Brooks leaves some vague, nasty review, but you check your records and there's no John Brooks. The wrong move is to get defensive or angry online. The right move is to respond politely and just publicly question the details. Something like, "Hi John, we're really sorry to hear about this, but we don't seem to have any record of you being a patient." That simple sentence signals to everyone else reading that something might be off with this review, and you do it without losing your cool. So, your game plan for fake reviews is a really simple two-step process. First, yes, absolutely report the review to Google or Yelp, or wherever it is. There's no guarantee they'll take it down, but you've got to try. And second, and this part is non-negotiable, you have to leave that calm, polite, public response. That's how you manage the story for everybody else who sees it. All right, let's bring it all home. We've basically gone on a journey here, from fearing those negative reviews to seeing them for what they really are. They're not a problem to be solved, they're a powerful opportunity to be seized. This is your new playbook. So the next time you see that one-star review pop up, don't think of it as a crisis. Think of it as a stage. It's your chance to get up there in public and show every single person watching just how much you care about your customers. It's a chance to show that you listen, that you take responsibility, and that you solve problems. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. That next negative review, it's coming. It's not an if, it's a when. It's not an attack. It's an opportunity being handed right to you. So are you ready to step on that stage and win?